General Hospital GH. Spoilers reveal that the show recently released a sneak peek video for the episode airing Monday, March 31. In the preview clip, Kristina Davis, Kate Mansi, spies some post-crash horror as Rick Lansing, Rick Hurst, deals with a head wound while spinal precautions are taken. GH fans know Kristina had a heated confrontation with Ava Jerome, Maura West, that drove her to make a terrible decision. It would have been bad enough if Kristina had cut the brakes to Ava's car like she thought, but she actually cut them on Rick's vehicle instead. Kristina made a false assumption based on who parked in Ava's space, so she'll be filled with even more regret soon enough. Although Kristina tried to undo her fateful choice by racing to stop Ava, she'll ultimately realize her worst mistake was sabotaging the wrong car. The sneak peek video begins with a firefighter working to open Rick's car door following the crash. A paramedic then mentions Rick's head wound and points out that they'll need to take spinal precautions. Unconscious Rick is given a neck brace as blood drips down from his forehead. Meanwhile, a nearby Kristina gapes in horror over the consequences of what she's done. Of course, some other terrible developments are ahead for Kristina, since she'll eventually realize Elizabeth Baldwin, Rebecca Herbst, is in the passenger seat. Liz should be pretty banged up as well, so she'll be innocent victim number 2 in all this. Once Kristina watches the paramedics in action, she may also catch a glimpse of a panicked Lucky Spencer, Jonathan Jackson. Lucky will wind up near the smashed vehicle as well, and will have to be held back from running toward injured Elizabeth. Kristina's mind will ultimately go to Molly Lansing Davis, Kristen Vaginos, since her dad's life is on the line. This mess will leave Kristina fearing Molly will loathe her forever if she finds out her sister's responsible for Rick's ordeal. General Hospital spoilers say Rick and Liz will be taken to GH for treatment, so their doctors will make some medical predictions and deliver updates on any important news. CVL's where you want to be for great General Hospital spoilers, news, and updates, so make us your favorite hotspot. The aftermath of a terrible decision sent ripples of chaos through the lives of everyone connected to the Corinthos family. One was meant to be a personal confrontation. A heated moment in time had turned into something far worse than Kristina Davis could have ever imagined. It all started with a furious argument between Kristina and Ava Jerome, one that left Kristina seething with anger, convinced that Ava was at the root of her problems. In her rage, Kristina made a decision that would change everything for her and the people she loved. She thought she was taking control of her destiny, making a choice that would finally rid her family of the manipulative Ava once and for all. But in the haze of emotion, Kristina made an irreplaceable mistake. She had assumed that Ava had parked in her designated spot, and so she sabotaged the car she thought was Ava's. She cut the brake lines, certain that she was setting the stage for Ava's downfall. But the universe had other plans. It wasn't Ava's car Kristina had tampered with, it was Rick Lansing's. Kristina's heart pounded as she watched helplessly, a cold wave of realization crashing over her. The consequences of her actions were far more severe than she could have imagined. Rick's life was now at stake, and it was her fault. It had been a sunny afternoon in Port Charles, the kind of day where nothing seemed out of the ordinary. But the peace was shattered in an instant when a crash echoed through the streets. A car had slammed into a tree, its metal frame twisted and mangled beyond recognition. It was Rick's car. Kristina's heart raced as she caught sight of the wreckage from a distance. She could see the flashing lights of emergency vehicles, hear the sirens wailing in the background. But it was the sight of the car that made her blood run cold. The moment she realized what had happened, she felt as though the ground beneath her feet had been ripped away. She'd done this. Firefighters worked swiftly to extricate Rick from the wreckage, the car door buckling under their force. Paramedics swarmed around the scene, assessing the damage. A medic shouted for more backup as they carefully stabilized Rick, who was unconscious, his forehead bleeding from a severe head wound. Blood stained his clothes, and his breathing was shallow, too shallow for KRISTINA's comfort. Spinal precautions. One of the paramedics called out as they placed a neck brace on Rick and began to carefully lift him onto a stretcher. KRISTINA's legs felt weak, and her stomach churned as she watched the medics at work. The horror of the moment hit her full force. This was her doing. She had condemned Rick to this agony.